Well, now really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling, you see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, life is an act of faith and an act of gamble. The moment you take a step, you do so on an act of faith because you don't really know that the floor is not going to give under your feet. The moment you take a journey, what an act of faith. The moment you enter into any kind of human undertaking and relationship, what an act of faith. See, you've given yourself up. But this is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender. See, and love is an act of surrender to another person. Total abandonment. I give myself to you. Take me. Do anything you like with me. See? So, that's quite mad, because you see, it's letting things get out of control. All sensible people keep things in control. So, actually, therefore, the course of wisdom, what is really sensible, is to let go, is to commit oneself, to give oneself up, and that's quite mad. So we come to the strange conclusion that in madness lies sanity.
She wondered what life would be like if she was born at a different time, a time before him or a time after him. What a gift it is to be alive at the same time, she thought. She would never say these words to him, for she knew they would only be received as a plea for affection, but she would say them to herself because she believed them to be true. He was no longer speaking to her, but he was surely still speaking about her. The two were no longer in love, but now just two strangers in a grocery store, strangers in separate aisles, completely unaware that their former lover was just 3 rows away. Two strangers with an abundance of beautiful memories. He would continue to search for love in other men and women. She would decide to be alone. But in this moment, as one looked through bruised vegetables and the other looked for the right brand of buttermilk bread, they both had hope that their soulmate was out there. What a gift it is to be alive at the same time, she thought, as she passed by an aisle and saw a familiar face. He would die 4 years before her, and she would live to see his wife remarry. She would be invited to the wedding, for she would be friends with the new husband. As the ceremony would begin, she would go outside and smoke a pack of cigarettes. What a gift it is to be alive at the same time, she would think, as she looked at his soulmate, now ready to marry another. But for now, she was just grocery shopping, because she needed to plan for her future without him. As she passed the aisle that he was in, she whispered to herself, "Let me be your violent smile. That's what I need."
We're interrupting your program because there have been 2 explosions today at the Boston Marathon.
That a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Where there is no peace process to speak of, no two-state solution either, there is this.
This truck barreled through a packed street in Stockholm's busiest shopping district.
It is a remarkable scene, as we're seeing right now. Flames still coming out of the windows, black smoke billowing from what appears to be all sides.
2 Palestinians shot and stabbed Jewish passengers on this
Department
bus.
store, thick black smoke billowing out.
Subway car incinerated rush hour.
Screams and panic tonight on Barcelona's most famous
A
pedestrian
deliberate
street.
act of terror by a so-called lone wolf.
At least 4 are dead, more than a dozen injured.
Cut off the sound and give me the silence. Let me sit with nothing. Nothing but the open air so I can hear. So I can hear that even here among the fear you remain near. Through it all, you remain near. Cut off the sound and give me the silence.
Do you remember the night you tried to kiss me? The rainy summer evening when the lights had gone out. For just a second. The moments your lips touched mine, the power turned on and I turned away. Do you remember the weekend your cousin came to visit? You only referred to me as your girlfriend. Blushing uncontrollably as I entered and exited the room, the other nurses poked fun that whole day. Do you recall the first thing you ever said to me? You forgot your own name as you pulled your gown over your knees, told the doctor you couldn't have a pretty girl help you shower. And do you remember the walk we took that crisp October morning? I felt your fingers slowly crawl into my hands and I didn't stop them. But do you remember the night your doctor came in at 11:03 p.m.? I was on my way out as I saw him approach your door. You never knew, but I listened from the outside, eyes swollen from tears. I told you I picked up a shift just so I could stay with you. And I remember that last night. You asked me to marry you. We called the nurses in as witnesses and brought the priest over from hospice. You placed a vending machine ring on my left hand as you swore to love me to death do us part. And that you did. You wouldn't remember the morning after, though. I laid with your body all day, doors closed and blinds shut. I whispered to you about all the places we would go together, the names of our kids and our dogs. We would have a house on the hill and a garden out back. We would honeymoon in Paris once you were able to leave this bed, but I know, and I remembered, you will never be able to leave this bed. So there, in your final resting place, I lay with my husband and remember the night you tried to kiss me.
Well, now really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling, you see, we don't say rising into love.